Low and high load training. This is the part one, and I first of all apologize for a long break in my videos, but I repeat, my scope is not to put hundreds of videos during a month, but to study important materials, test it on me, and then write about it in order to help you in your training. The major issue in the last months is the issue of high loads against lower loads in the training. And what are the results in the muscle hypertrophy? Maybe you will have to watch more videos on this subject, as it is not an easy subject. This is anyway the part one. The recent researches about high and low load training techniques and their result on the hypertrophy were conducted by the Tokyo University, Kusatsu College in Japan, Oklahoma University, Mississippi University in the United States. The Japanese scientists Riki Ogasawara and Takashi Abe, as well as the US scientists Jeremy Lerneke and Robert Thibault, were leading personalities of this scientific research. The main scope was to determine whether a training with low loads means less weight resistance, but working with less rest and up to fatigue have the same muscle results as high load training with less reps and more rest. 9 young men aged 25, about 175 centimeters high, previously untrained, participated in this research. Their starting body mass was 68 or 70. They trained for 6 weeks with high loads, with weights going up to 75% of the 1 max rep weight. Another similar group trained 6 weeks with low loads, and they trained about 30% of the 1 max rep weight going to fatigue. The measured muscles after 6 weeks were pecs, triceps, and biceps. The results were very similar for both groups. On the other hand, the pure strength was much better for the high loading group, working with the heavy weights. The main results said that high loads are not so determinant for muscle growth as it was though before, and that the muscle growth is in the same training time, nearly the same for the lower load. While it is true that high loads manufacture a higher strength, it is also arising the probability of an injury, which might result in a long break in your training. For the muscular development, the main factor is the MPS, muscle protein synthesis. The newest research is proving that MPS is nearly the same if the trainee is working with 30% of the maximum 1 rep weight, so-called 1 RPM, or with 90% of the 1 RPM weight, providing both work until volitional fatigue. The volitional fatigue is the most important factor for muscular growth. The opposite is muscle protein breakdown, MPB. We have to admit that for years all coaches advised that working out with 70 to 80% of the 1 RM, 1 maximum rep, is the way to get bigger muscles. The modern research is showing that the muscle resistance against the weight is the most important factor and not the weight itself. And in fact, the training subjects confirmed that with only 30% of the 1RM training brings the same muscular development result as the training with 70 to 90 of RM1. The first results brought the research concerning legs, especially extensions for knee muscles. The lower load up to fatigue means 2-3 sets with 15 to 20 reps brought even better results as very high weight loads at low reps, 5 to 6. After these results, the physiologist started to study the bench press as the major exercise for the upper body. And we shall speak about that in our next video. Thank you for listening for this part 1.